So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into Illustrator, and let's see, File, we're going to open Okay, so now we've opened our image in Illustrator. Don't worry if it's a bit bigger than the actual artboard. We're actually gonna turn off visibility like that. We're going over here to the Layers tab, and we're creating a new layer. As for the bottom layer, we're gonna be locking that layer down, which means that we won't be able to select anything. Cool. So we're going to be working on this layer, and we're going to hit P on the keyboard to bring up the pen tool, and we're going to start inking. Okay, so if you've never done inking in Illustrator, yeah, don't worry. It is a bit frustrating at first, especially if you've never used it. I remember my first experience using it was it was a nightmare. Sorry, I just want to turn off this fill so I can actually see what I'm doing. Oh, I'm hitting Alt on the keyboard to bring up this little arrow looking thing so I can manipulate these handles. Okay, so I'm gonna hit P again, and just gonna trace around the entirety of this image. It's at this point that most people stop wanting to do this because it becomes tedious. Unfortunately, yes, it is a tedious process, but hey, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Don't worry too much about being perfect. Like I said, your mistakes are what makes your artwork stand out from everybody else's. I think it actually gives some artwork a bit more characteristics. Just like that. Cool. Hit enter, and we're moving over to the nose. Hit enter. Right, mouth. Also, if you see me not stick to the line art, that's perfectly normal. Sometimes I like to change things, especially things that don't look right when I'm drawing lines. So don't worry too much about that. Okay, so I know at the beginning of this video I said I don't like people that use time-lapse, so I'm gonna try to avoid it as much as possible. But at some point, maybe, I'm not sure, but at some point, if I feel this is becoming too tedious, I'm just gonna switch over to time-lapse, so my apologies. Let's see right there. Get a nice smooth jawline. Cool. Hit enter. See, this is what I mean. This is a mistake. I mean, that curve. But I'm just gonna leave it as is. I might tweak it just a little bit. But I really like that bend we're getting. So I'm gonna leave that. Happy mistake. Right, so jumping over here, I'm gonna go there. Like that. Awesome. Pull it out like that. Hit Alt, just shift that up a little bit because that edge is a bit too harsh for me. Hit Enter, I'm gonna hit Alt again, and just push these back so we get a nice contour. Right, that's our face basically done. I'm not going to worry too much about the second eye. I think what we're going to end up doing is just finishing this one and then copy and paste it over to the other side. So let me just quickly get that pupil before I forget. Shift on a keyboard, draw out a circle like that, moving it up with my arrow keys. Okay, so we're going to hit Command C and Command F to copy and paste in place. And then we're going to hit Shift and Alt and hold those two down. And then just draw out this new copy that we made. And then I'm just going to use my arrow keys to move it over slightly. Alright, that's alright. So we're going to hit P to move back to the pen tool. And we're going to finish this guy's hair. So I'm gonna start over here. And this is the great thing about working with Illustrator. You're never quite sure what's gonna happen, so it's a lot of trial and error. So just bear with it, and hopefully you'll manage. Hit Enter. I'm gonna hit Command and then click on these anchor points. We're just gonna squish them up. Don't worry if what I'm doing looks messy. This is actually not the right way to do it, but yeah, it works for me, so actually, I'm gonna hit this direct selection tool or Command or A. Just gonna select this node and just move it right onto that line, so we get a closed line. All right, hitting P again. We're moving back to the pen tool, and we're gonna continue our path. Boom, that's our hair done. Actually, I'm just want to come in here and fix this. I'm gonna hit A, and I want to get rid of this line. So I'm just gonna scooch that right there, and I'm just gonna manipulate this back into place. Okay. And continuing on by hitting P, we're gonna move on to the neck. It's at this point that I think, like I said, I'm gonna move into the time-lapse mode, because you guys aren't gonna see anything new that I'm gonna be doing here. So it's just gonna be basically a bunch of repeating. So I'm gonna save you guys that and jump on over to time-lapse. Okay, so we're back. I pretty much think I completed the entire character. Let me just quickly turn off this layer. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's everything, except for his eye, but we're quickly gonna copy that. Let's do that right now. Just gonna select those. Command C, Command F. Command C, F. To objects, transform and reflect. We're going to reflect them in the horizontal axis, and we're just going to hit enter. Okay, so we're just going to move this over here like that. Don't worry too much of overlapping. We're going to fix that. And we're going to select these. Actually, no, we're going to select this inner one, and we're just going to scooch it over so it kind of matches the other side. And just gonna move it over to where that eye used to be. Okay, so here you can see we're not matching up, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit A on the keyboard and then just draw this one up here. Hit A, and then holding pressing P on the keyboard, I'm gonna hit Command, press that. Just gonna move that up a bit. So we match it up. Cool. Kind of something like that. Now, same goes for the bottom one. Something like that. Cool. Now for the eyebrow, I'm just gonna pretty much do the same. That's our character done. So now the fun part starts. We're gonna select the lines, the curves that we want to change, and we're gonna go to the brush strokes and we're gonna add some cartoon brushes. I created these brushes myself. It's really simple to do. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description for you. And as you can see with this, using these kinds of brushes or predetermined brush strokes just adds a little bit more, just a bit more life to this character. I will admit I'm not too happy about this guy's eyes. I'm probably gonna end up changing it. Notice what I'm doing is if there's a line that isn't connected to anything, like say for instance this nose, like this point and this point isn't connected to anything, I use this shape. It's pointy at the end, then becomes thick, and then it goes pointy again. But say for instance this side of the face, it's connected, and then it's connected on this side as well. I like using this brushstroke where it's thick and then starts getting thinner, just to exaggerate the heaviness. Like say for instance this one. This is connected, and then here it's not connected. So either gonna go skinny, thick, skinny, or I'm gonna go thick to skinny. I think I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Oh, wrong one. It's this one. There we go. See, that looks interesting already. Don't worry about these overlaps. We're gonna fix that a bit later on once we expand this image. So for now, it's fine. Here is a section that's connected on both ends, but I don't want it to go thick to skinny, so I want it to be thick on both sides and then skinny in the middle. So I'm going to use number, I think it's number 2. Yeah, it's number 2. See? That works. That works. It becomes more comfortable when you're doing it for a long time. You start getting comfortable with the shapes, and then you know how the lines should be. So I'm just going to finish up these. And remember, you can always change the thickness of your stroke. Like say for instance, if this line was a bit too thick, I could always thin it out here. Actually, yeah, I think I'm going to do that to both of them. Yeah. Just so it's not as thick. Rule of thumb: most cartoon styles normally have a very thick outline, and then everything inside is very thin. That works in some cases. I particularly am not going to use it on this character, so but feel free to do it. That's what the most popular character styles are like these days. Okay, so there's our character done, pretty much done. At this point, I'm not going to tamper too much with the shape of it. It's not perfect, but for all illustrative purposes, this is fair enough. So I'm going to make sure that I'm in the select tool, or V on the keyboard, and I'm going to select all my layers, or you can come over here to the layers tab and then just click this little circle to select all. And then we're going to go over to the objects tab and click on expand appearance, and then we're going to hit expand one more time. Yep, I'm going to hit OK. Cool. So now what's going to happen is all this has been grouped, and they're no longer curves anymore, meaning we can no longer edit them as curves. These are now shapes. As you can see, it's got a red outline. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to manipulate the shapes to hide all the little mistakes we've made. So jumping right in, sorry, just select everything again. We're going to hit object ungroup. Make sure you always ungroup. 3 is the magic number, 2 in this case. Always ungroup everything. And now we're going to start nitpicking. Like, see, immediately this here is something that catches my interest. We're going to hit A on the keyboard and then select that thing. All these little vertices, we're just going to select them once and click and drag twice. Select once, click and drag twice. We're just going to hide them inside of the shape. And again, we're going to just make sure this looks fair enough. Like that. See, that's clean. Another one over here. Select that. Gonna select once, click and drag. Select this one, click once, click and drag. Just so we hide all these little overlaps. Now this in itself is also a tedious process, but I mean, it's got to be done. Okay, so this is an interesting part. Over here we're going to need to cut our image. So how we're going to do that is we're just going to hide all these inside of this little line right here. There. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go around and check for any more sections that look strange, and I'm just going to fix that. Okay, listen guys, I think we are done for the inking process. I'm not going to tamper too much with this because I personally feel that it's fine. We're just going to finish up our line work by selecting again everything or clicking this little thing to select all. And we're going to go to the Pathfinder, and we're just going to hit this little icon here to unite everything. So all these individual parts are going to be one continuous part. See that? There's no more individuality. Okay, so once we're finished with our line work, we're just gonna select everything. I'm gonna go back to view, and we're gonna turn back on our artboard, and we're just gonna press shift and uniformly scale this whole character down, and we're just gonna place it inside the artboard. Make it as big as you can. Just like that. Cool. So now we're going to go and click on export, save for web. So we're going to have it as a PNG 24 and transparency selected. I'm going to hit save, and we're going to change this. Oh, cartoon guy 1. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to save it to the desktop. Click save, and now it should be here with transparency turned on. Perfect. Okay. Well, thank you guys for thank you guys for sticking with me for this long. I'm going to be opening this in Photoshop in the next video, and I'm going to be showing you guys how I colorize and shade my cartoon character. So see you in the next video. Please, if you've liked this video, remember to hit the like and subscribe button. It's really going to help my channel a lot. And thank you for watching. See you in the next video.